The Magic School Bus Lost in the Solar System. When we got to the planetarium, it was closed for repairs. Class, this means we'll have to return to school, said Fizz. Was so disappointed. On the way back, as we were waiting at a red light, something amazing happened. The bus started tilting back, and we heard the roar of rockets. Oh dear, said Miss Frizzle. We seem to be blasting off. When the roar of the rockets stopped, we looked around. Everything had changed. The bus had turned into a spaceship. We were all dressed in spacesuits, and we were lighter than feathers. We float above our seats. Far behind, in the black sky, we saw the planet Earth getting smaller and smaller. We were traveling in space. We had become astronauts. The Fizz said our first stop would be the moon. We get off the bus and look around. There was no air, no water, no sign of life. All we saw were dust and rock and lots of craters. Miss Frizzle said the craters were formed billions of years ago when the moon was hit by meteorites. Meteorites were falling chunks of rock and metal. It was fun on the moon. We want to play, but Miss Frizzle said it was time to go. So we got back on the bus. We'll start with the sun, the center of the solar system, said Fizz, and we blasted off. We zoomed toward the sun, the biggest, brightest, and hottest object in the solar system. Jets of super hot gases shot out at us from the surface. Thank goodness Miss Frizzle didn't get too close. She steered around to the other side and pulled away. We'll be seeing all the planets in order, class, explained Frizzle. Mercury is the first planet, the closest to the sun. Mercury was a dead sun-baked planet. This planet is a lot like our moon. A lot like our moon. There's no water and hardly any air, said Fizz. Notice the craters on its surface as we passed by. Before long, we felt ourselves being pulled in by the gravity of Venus, the second planet from the sun. Venus was completely covered by a thick layer of yellowish clouds. We will now explore the surface of Venus, said Miss Frizzle. Below the clouds, Venus was as dry as a desert. The ground was covered with rocks, and it was hot. It was about 460 degrees Celsius. That's much hotter than an oven baking cookies. The air was so heavy we could feel it pressing down on us. Miss Frizzle said there might be active volcanoes around too. We said, let's get out of here. Our next stop is Mars, the red planet, fourth from the sun, announced the Fizz. On our way, we'll be passing through the orbit of Earth, the third planet. The bus lifted off with a roar. As we came close to Mars, we passed its 2 moons, which are called Phobos and Deimos. Compared to our moon, they were tiny, and they weren't even round. Looking down, we saw a huge canyon. Miss Frizzle said it was as long as the United States. There was a volcano 3 times taller than the tallest volcano on Earth, and all around there were channels that looked like dried up riverbeds. Ice can be found under the soil. We landed and started walking around. Suddenly, a huge dust storm blew up. Miss Frizzle said dust storms on Mars can last 4 months. They may cover the whole planet. We scrambled back on the bus and headed out. Mars is the last of what we call inner planets. Miss Frizzle shouted above the roar of the rockets. We will now be going through the asteroid belt to the outer planets. Thousands of asteroids were spinning all around us. All at once, we heard the tangling of broken glass. One of our taillights had been hit by an asteroid. Miss Frizzle put the bus on autopilot and went out to take a look. She kept on talking about asteroids over the bus radio. Suddenly, there was a snap. Miss Frizzle's taser arm had broken. Without warning, the rockets fired up, and the bus zoomed away. The autopilot was malfunctioning. On the radio, Miss Frizzle's voice grew fainter and fainter. Then she was gone. We were on our own. We were lost in the solar system. Most of us were too scared to move, but Janet started searching the bus in the glove compartment. She found Miss Frizzle's lesson book. As she began reading from it, a huge planet came into view. Class, this is Jupiter, Janet read. It's the first of our outer planets and the largest planet in the solar system. We thought the school bus was going to land, but there was no solid ground to land on. Jupiter is a gas giant. A planet made almost electricity entirely of gas. As we left Jupiter, we wondered and worried. Will we ever get home? The next sight made us forget our troubles. It was Saturn, a gas planet like Jupiter. It had swirling clouds and lots of moons. But the most incredible thing about Saturn was its rings. It was the most beautiful planet in the solar system. Next was Uranus, a blue-green gas planet with faint gray rings and moons. Some scientists think they might be made of chunks of graphite, the material used in pencils on Earth. The bus was going faster and faster, and we couldn't control the autopilot. We swept past stormy Neptune, another blue-green planet, 8 from the sun. All we could think about was finding Miss Frizzle. We were going so fast, we'd almost missing seeing Pluto and its moons. Carrion is the biggest one, and Hydra and Nex are smaller. We were so far away from the sun that it doesn't look big anymore. It's just like a very bright star. Very, very bright star. Janet flipped rapidly to through Miss Frizzle's book. Suddenly, she found something new. The asteroid in the instructions for the autopilot. We punched the asteroid belt on the control panel. Slowly, the bus turned around. It was working. We were going back. When we reached the asteroid belt, there was Miss Frizzle. With Frizzle back at the wheel, the bus headed straight for Earth. We re-entered the atmosphere, landed with a thump, and looked around. We were in the school parking lot again. The rockets were gone. The spacesuits were gone. The bus was awake. Everything was back to normal. In the classroom, we made a terrific chart of the planets and a model of the solar system. At last, it was time to go home. It had been a typical day in Miss Frizzle's class. Now we had only one problem. Would anyone ever believe us when we told about our trip? We went to outer space today. Of course you did, dear. My favorite planet was Jupiter. No, maybe Mars. Of course, Saturn was gorgeous too. Mom, make him stop. And there's Miss Frizzle, floating among the asteroids. What a imagination. We could have been lost in space forever. You're sad, honey.